Now confirming that North Carolina Congressman Madison Cawthorn has been cited for bringing a loaded gun to the Charlotte airport today. This is according to the TSA and to police. Let me bring in NBC's Julie Sirkin, who's on the Hill. Julie, bring us up to speed.
Yeah, Hallie, Madison Cawthorn, a congressman from North Carolina, was going through the airport this morning in Charlotte, and it was spotted in his bag when he was when he was going through the TSA security, like everybody does when they travel, a loaded gun. And what they did was TSA officials actually seized that gun you see there on your screen, and they cited him for possession of a dangerous weapon on city property. They then released him. Investigators said that he was cooperative with them. But this can be punishable up to a $13,000 fine.
It can be punishable up to a $13,000 fine. Madison Cawthorn caught again, by the way, with a gun at TSA at the airport, trying to smuggle it in his carry-on baggage. I say again because just last February, he tried this the first time. They caught him then too, but consequences, responsibility, changing up the way I do things. That's something Madison Cawthorn doesn't really go with. It's not a thought process of his. Hey, by the way, the folks there that searched his gun, there was audio of what they were talking about as they found it. This is from last February. Watch.
It's going to be an elected official, Madison Cawthorn's firearm. Couldn't read, copy anything you just said. An elected official, Madison Cawthorn. An elected official. Yes. House of Representatives, elected official. After that, it doesn't make a difference. You still got to get the information. They've got to have the proper channels to carry it through. Communications, I've got a North Carolina wailing for you.
So there they are discussing very calmly. Madison's got this gun. We'll figure this whole thing out. They even seem pretty eager to even help him. Here's some of the more details of what happened. This is from last February again. This is what the officers were saying. What we're going to do, we're going to escort the individual out to his vehicle and allow him to secure it. Is what an officer on the scene talked about with Cawthorn, told the dispatch in the recording. We're going to step out to the vehicle, let him stow the weapon, and then try to get him back to security for his flight. Their flight leaves in 7 minutes. What I'm thinking is we're just going to keep the firearm and he can take it back when he comes back through. Airport police property records show that officers collected the 9mm pistol and one loaded magazine. After taking Cawthorn's gun, he went back through security to be scanned again and went on his way, is what the recordings indicate. Quote, I've got this information, and they couldn't hear it else. He said, he'll be the one picking up the weapon, is what the officer said in the recording. So, from illegally carrying a loaded firearm, trying to take it onto a plane in your carry-ons, and not wondering, hey, who are you trying to shoot? It turned into, let's help the individual, stow his gun, save it, keep it for safekeeping until next time. His flight's leaving. We definitely can't make sure he misses his flight because that's our responsibilities too, based off of his travel plans. They go through all this trouble for Madison Cawthorn. What does he have on every police officer in the country? Because the other one we did last week in a traffic stop had him switch seats with his passenger to make sure he wasn't busted by the cops or something. It's weird how that works. One last part, Rayvana, because these are the guidelines for flying with a firearm in case everyone else in the country didn't know. For carry-on bags, no. In checked bags, yes, there's special instructions though. Firearms carried in checked bags must be unloaded, packed in a loaded hard-sided container and declared to the airline at check-in. Check with your airline to see if they allow firearms in at all, period. Now, all those instructions, but instead Cawthorn takes a loaded gun, that wasn't part of the guidelines, puts it in his carry-on, not part of the guidelines, and doesn't tell anyone, not part of the guidelines, but he still gets assistance and help in all of this. Ray, as you jump in, let's look at this image of Cawthorn as he was busted just this last time at the airport. Not happy about it, definitely not happy about it. How dare they take my gun? Didn't they learn the first time? No, he didn't learn and neither did they.
Yeah, I think Madison Cawthorn is the definition of a white man who does not realize that there's consequences for his actions because he's never seen them, right? Yeah. I mean, he's been pulled over like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times now for driving on a suspended license and hasn't seen anything come of it. I mean, and he went through the airport the first time with a loaded gun and then just assumed the second time that the airport is gun daycare and he can just leave it there and come back and pick it up. Which I mean, the idea that you would ever need a loaded gun on a flight is, I don't know. You've maybe been watching too many thriller movies, maybe too many action films. I don't think anything's gonna happen on that flight that you need to step in and use your weapon. But I mean, if he's like flying between his state and DC a lot, I mean, don't you just have a gun at your DC home, your DC apartment that you can use? Like, why is it so important that you have this one that you're bringing back and forth? It just makes no sense. But I wouldn't really expect anything from Madison Cawthorn. I mean, he's not the brightest. He's not the brightest star in the sky. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed, honestly.
But he keeps doing it, and the reason, as you mentioned, he keeps doing it because he keeps getting away with it. That's the whole point. Well, the Republicans talk about how we need consequences for crime so that people won't do them anymore. Yeah. I guess that's why they keep letting him go, because they don't care if he ever stops doing this. It's just the way he is. Now, he also took it into the Capitol he says he took guns to the Capitol on January 6th as well. He just has this affinity for letting everyone know he's got guns. So maybe in this instance as well, he wants everyone to know he had a gun. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out.